Much like in the Jodi Arias trial and Jodi's ever-changing explanation of what happened to her ex-boyfriend, Travis Alexander, Karen Kelly and her attorney have offered at least 5 different explanations. That it was self-defense, that she accidentally shot Petrus, that she thought he was someone else, that he shot himself, and that she was only protecting her home. So which is it?
I have a message for all prosecutors across the country. In the future, when a woman murders her husband or boyfriend, don't even bother with a trial. It will save taxpayers a lot of money.
She gives different versions of the events. Sometimes she says she didn't see the person who came in the house. She believed it to be an intruder. And in the same story, she will tell the person, and then I called out Philip, and I talked to him, and he said this and that. So there are things in her versions that don't make any sense. At one point she says he was joking and put the gun to his head, and so what are you going to do, shoot me? And then in another version, she's got him fighting with her, and then in another version, this is all a joke. Listen to the wording that she uses. Listen when she walks out of the house and the police respond, it's he's been shot. He's been shot. Not he shot himself. Not the words that you would expect to hear had he shot himself. The problem is, in that room that night, there's only 2 people. One is dead. One, clearly under the influence of alcohol, pulls a firearm, which she admits. She pulls a firearm, she points it towards the door. She comes into contact with easily a person that she would recognize as Philip Petros. There is a conversation with them, and he is killed. Whether the defendant pulled the trigger or whether the defendant put things in motion by being intoxicated, by pulling the gun, by holding it up, by not immediately dropping the gun upon recognizing that it's Philip Petros, by continuing to engage if there is some sort of struggle for the gun, and that gun going off, the defendant would be guilty of manslaughter.
This morning, an Orange County realtor who had been on trial for manslaughter is now a free woman.
Karen Kelly was charged with killing her boyfriend. Now that the emotional trial's over, we're hearing from Kelly. West 2 Stuart Moore's live outside the Orange County Courthouse this morning with what she's saying. Stuart.
Well, she stunned a lot of people, Jason, when she walked out of the courtroom, not because of the not guilty reaction, but for what the first thing was that she said when we asked her a question. It took jurors less than 2 hours to exonerate Karen Kelly in the 2011 murder of her boyfriend, Philip Petros.
What are you going to do next?
Go to Disney World.
A reaction few saw coming, but obviously the supporters surrounding Karen Kelly's march out of the courtroom were thrilled with the decision. Had she been found guilty, she could have served life behind bars.
What would you have to say to Mr. Petros' family now?
They already know how I feel about Philip. Everybody that knows me would know I would never do such a thing.
The Petros family did not comment after the verdict was read. And Karen Kelly remains that she was innocent of this actual crime. She says that she and Petros did get into that fight, but he was actually shot himself, and she just happened to be holding the gun at the time that the firing happened. But again, she is a free woman this morning, exonerated of all those manslaughter charges.